This is Grimm Grinner on all channels.
Welcome to the waste.
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 Welcome to the wastes.
Welcome to the waste.
Welcome to the waste.
Welcome to the wastes.
Welcome to the waste.
Welcome to the wastes. This has been Grimm Grinner on all channels. See you in the wastes. Grimm signed off and clicked the switches on his microphone and the radio setup. As static took over the airwaves, he sat there and contemplated what he was going to do with himself for the next couple days. Just about everyone in range he could think of to try and reach was either out on a run or otherwise preoccupied in other ways. It had been a while since he let off any steam, what with the creeps, the cults, and the various other threats out there in the wastes. Grimm looked over at the rifle that he had hung on the wall in his little radio room and let out a low whistle. I wonder. I haven't heard from any of them in a while. Flicking a small switch and plugging in his ham radio, Grimm turned the dial and punched in a familiar old code. There was a slight static hum just before he held down the button. Grimm Grinner to basement. Anyone there? Looking to blow off some steam if anyone's down for some target practice. Upon releasing the button, the hum of static kicked back in. He waited patiently, hoping someone was home, but not anticipating much. His friends tended to be off on adventures on a pretty regular basis. But then... Grimm, is that you? How's it going, buddy? Jailbreak's jovial voice crackled through the radio, and a smile burst through Grimm's face. Oh, not so bad, JD. How's things over there? Are Ghost Crash and Longshot around? Yeah, they're here. We all just got back from some runs a few hours ago. What's up, Gavin? Everything okay? Grimm could hear the immediate concern in his friend's voice. Oh, everything's fine. I've just been bored and haven't had much to broadcast about lately. Figured I'd see if any of you wanted to, go have some target practice for old time's sake. There was a pause before Jailbreak's voice kicked back in. He was probably asking the other two. Ghost Crash and I'll have to sit this one out, my guy. Got some stuff to handle here with the security systems. But Longshot's already getting a rifle ready if you're up to go head-to-head. Grimm rubbed the small scar on his shoulder, a mark from when they were younger. Yeah, I'm good to have some healthy competition. Tell her I'll be at the range just north of her old nest around midday. Just gotta get some supplies if I can find a caravan. Roger, Grimm. Catch you later. Jailbreak's voice was replaced with the static yet again. Grimm started getting his gear ready, taking stock of the bullets he had for the rifle. Finding them at any caravan or trading outpost would be a tough trade, but not entirely out of the realm of possibilities. Besides, he had plenty to spare, since he usually went with the more up-close methods if he got in any scrapes. The bike roared to life, and Grimm double-checked that he had enough scrap for trading without having so much he would be weighed down. Up the ramp he went, with a quick pause to lock and seal the gate behind him. Last thing he needed was ferals or raiders sneaking in that way. Not that anyone could or would find it. The caravan he knew about was supposed to be relatively close, which would help with getting where he needed to go quickly. The traders were cautious when Grimm pulled up, completely covered in his regular riding gear. They relaxed when he pulled off his hood and moved the goggles off his eyes. The shock of red hair was slowly becoming a clear trademark for the voice of the wastes, which he was happy to see working with this group. Grimm made a few small trades for some extra bullets, a few small ration packs, and an extra special find. A small vial, almost empty, save for a few pieces of colorful glass inside and stopped with a cork. With his supplies and treasures in hand, he made for the rendezvous point, a small strip of field that had long ago been cleaned up and set up as a makeshift shooting range. It was about a click out from an old lookout tower that Grimm and Longshot had affectionately called the Nest, long before hearing of the Phoenix Express and their own outpost. It had been some time since either of them had been out there, but it felt like home all the same. Grimm fidgeted with the little vial he had bartered for. While he waited, he scrounged in a small pouch on his leg for some more pieces of glass that he had picked from the sand last time he was near any sort of open water. Some habits die hard. Longshot arrived some time later, just as the sun was hitting its highest point. "How in the seven hells are you already here, Grinner?" Longshot sighed as she got off her bike, adjusting her own rifle slung over her shoulder. The weapon was about as tall as she was, so it sat at an angle like a massive sword on her back. Trade caravan was closer than I thought to the bunker, so I got us some snacks. The two wastelanders grinned at each other before embracing in a tight hug. "You know, you're really bad at keeping in touch." Longshot broke apart first, shifting the weight of her gun so that it wasn't sliding off. "It's been a couple weeks since we heard anything at the basement." I know. Running from the corporations and this jury cult hasn't been easy the past bit. Figured that this is the first time in a while I'm not on the run, so blowing off some steam with some target practice is a good use of an afternoon. Grimm smiled and tossed a pack of dried out fruits to Longshot. "You're not wrong. We've been going on supply runs here and there, and Ghost Crash took me on a scavenge down south last week, but otherwise it feels like just trying to go anywhere has been risky lately." The younger wastelander chewed on a piece of fruit while sizing up the targets at the end of the small strip of field. "So what's the wager? Caps, scrap, bullets?" Grimm produced the small vial of glass shards and set it on the small wooden table that usually held bullet boxes while they shot. "1 box of bullets each. We shoot until we're out. New target sheets every 5 shots, which should give us about 5 sheets for scoring each. If you win, you get to take this home with you today. If I win, I hang on to it until your birthday, and I get it filled to the brim for you. And you have to put the tally under my name back at the nest." "Bring it on, you static bitch." The two friends set up at their positions and double-checked their weapons before counting down. The first shots rang out across the field, and they both held their breath as they waited to hear if the noise had alerted anyone in the area, feral or otherwise. When it was deemed clear, Grimm and Longshot shared a moment of laughter before taking turns doing the countdown. Every time one of them said 3, another pair of shots would sound, followed by the measured sound of them reloading or cocking the next round. When the last bullets were taken out of the box, Grimm spoke up. "Last shot, Lily. Also, last chance to add or change the wager." "Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you?" "Nope, just giving you a chance to get something more if you're so confident." "Fine then. If I win, then you also have to put a tally under my name at the nest, and you have to come by the basement for a visit next time you're feeling bored. I'll miss you around there." "Deal," Grimm said with a wink. Silence fell as Grimm and Longshot took slow, steady breaths and lined up their last shots. 1, 2, 3. Grimm counted down calmly, and the rifles both sounded off the end of the competition. When they went down the field to check the last sheets, Grimm's was only hit with 4 bullets. All very close, but without that last shot hitting, Longshot's score overtook him by more than 30 points, with all of hers hitting her intended marks. "You better not have thrown that last shot, Grimm. I swear to fuck all... I didn't. I swear. I didn't factor in the angle of where I wanted to hit on that one. Besides, even if I had hit, you still would have beaten me on principle alone." "Yeah, but it would have been a tie, which would have needed a tiebreaker, and you know I love kicking your ass at those." "Oh well, there's always next time." Grimm smiled at the smaller wastelander, thinking back to when they were kids and how scared she had been to even hold a gun, let alone how long it took to be able to nail every single target she wanted to. "You okay, Bear?" Without thinking about it, Grimm had started rubbing where the scar was from that accidental shot to the shoulder when they were both training as kids. "Oh yeah, just lost in a memory for a second. Shall we add your tally?" "Heck yeah, fuck yeah, we shall. And I'll be taking this lovely little treasure too." Longshot turned over the vial of colorful glass, inspecting all the pieces inside. How much did this set you back at the trader anyways? Oh, not much. I had a bunch of spare scraps and caps around for the supplies and tossed in one of my knives for the vial. Wait, one of your knives? You never give those up. Which one was it? Longshot had stopped and was staring, awestruck at Grimm, who stood a solid 10 paces ahead. Honestly, unimportant one. Just something I had picked up from my time with the Vanished. Figured it was better to give up that old bad memory in favor of making some new ones. Grimm shook off the remnants of that memory and met his friend's mossy eyes with a smile. Proud of you, kiddo, Longshot stated as she gave Grimm a big hug and linked arms with him. And before you say anything, I'm aware you're older than me. Now let's figure out what color I want you to mark the board with for my win today. After getting back to the nest, the two wastelanders had their snacks, marked the small board that had each of their names at the top with significantly more tallies under Longshot's, and reminisced about some of the fun times spent here after leaving the safety of their bunker. As the sun started setting, Grimm decided it would be a smart idea for each of them to get on the road back, since being in this area after dark was ill-advised. They both loaded up their gear before sharing another embrace. Thanks for this, Grimm. Longshot hugged the red-headed rebel tight. Are you kidding me? I needed this. Thanks for meeting me out here. I promise, under pain of another shot to the shoulder, that I will come to the basement soon and hang. I miss you and our friends. They broke the hug and both started their bikes as Longshot gave Grimm a stern look. You'd fucking better, Grinner. Or else. She mimed shooting a smaller gun aimed at his shoulder before softening and catching Grimm's eye. You take care of yourself, okay? You too, Longshot. Grimm winked and smiled at his friend as she pulled down her hood and goggles, revving her engine and peeling away from the lookout tower. Grimm stood under the tower for a few more moments, hearing the engine fade into the distance before getting his bike in position to head back to the bunker. The drive went quickly, since even creeps tended to retire to a vault or depot at night most of the time. After securing his ride and double-checking that all his gear was put away, Grimm went to retire to his room. Despite the day, he wasn't as tired as he expected to be, so he swung himself off the bed and into the transmitter room, switching on a couple of dials to listen to the static and see if he could pick anything up. Sure enough, after some time making some scratchy notes on a piece of paper on the desk, he switched the dials for transmission, swinging the microphone to the right position. Good evening, Wasteland. This is Grimm Grinner on all channels. Welcome to the Wastes. Welcome to the Wastes is a Wasteland podcast brought to you by Edward Grimm Grinner Hutchinson. Feel free to follow me on all social media. Make sure to subscribe so you can hear new episodes as they release. If you like what I do here and want to support the podcast by getting some cool merch, check out my Etsy store. For more information and all the links, check out linktree.com/welcome to the wastes. Thanks for listening.